Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Criterion Connection. I'm Wade.
And I'm Scott.
And today we are doing 1983 Risky Business by Brickman.
Paul Brickman.
This is a film that's new to the Criterion collection.
But not new to a lot of people, trust me.
It's new to us.
Yeah, that's technically
both
true.
of us have never seen this film ever. We know the slide.
Yeah.
The iconic,
obviously.
The iconic Bob Seger slide. But I didn't actually know what the film was about.
Neither did I. I was very surprised.
I knew that Tom Cruise was in it, and that's about as far as I could tell what this film is. And it's a movie I did not expect to go to places it went.
Yeah.
It stars Tom Cruise, obviously, who plays Joel.
Yeah, we got him, Bronson Pinchot.
Bronson Pinchot plays, I forget, Brian? What's his name, Brian?
I just kept calling him Bronson the whole time. I can't call him anything but Bronson or Balky.
Curtis Armstrong.
Armstrong, Booger.
This is before Better Off Dead, I think. After Revenge of the Nerds.
Which is weird because he looks younger in this than he did in Revenge of the Nerds.
He has this mentality of what the heck. Well, he doesn't say what the heck. The father says what the heck. Also, we have Rebecca De Mornay, who plays Lana. That's it. And of course, our favorite, Joe Pantoliano.
Joey Pants!
Who, I mean, Sopranos, Ralph Cifaretto.
He's magic.
He's also in Bad
Boys.
Screen. He's also in Bad Boys. He's also in Daredevil.
Yeah.
The movie.
And of course, I don't know about you, but my first experience, Ready to Rumble.
Yes, he's Tyson Sinclair on that. I feel like this is deja vu, and we talked about him before on one of these episodes.
You know what? Not just here, but we did also mention him on a little something called Tales from the Pod Crypt, which is on Spotify.
Joel is feeling the pressure of every high school student, of the parents' expectations, college, women. It's laid on thick that he's under the pressure. Wants to go to Princeton,
but his parents trust him, so it's not
well.
But then again, that's a different pressure in and of itself. It's not enough to prove it. It's the pressure of being able to maintain it.
No, his mom trusts him 100%.
Well, yeah, but
Dad has some skepticism.
Yeah, but when you watch that movie, Mom runs the show. Let's be honest.
Because Dad was like, "Hey, you can't turn the bass up too much on this stereo system."
Because that was the one thing he had, Wade. I don't know if you know this, but back in the 80s, when it came, and I think a little to the 70s, all the men had in that house for real was a recliner and their sound.
To describe Joel in this film, the best way is when the parents leave. The parents go out of town for a week, a month.
I think it was a week. I think they're gone for a week.
It's a lot of things happening that week.
A lot can happen in 7 days. Trust me.
So they're gone for a week, and he's ready to party a little bit. So he sits at the dinner table. It's a perfect scene to describe him in his situation. He's sitting there. He's pouring a glass of Scotch and Coke.
Yes.
And he's
much more Scotch than Coke. He hasn't learned yet.
Yes, and he's eating a TV dinner, but it's still frozen.
Oh my God!
He doesn't know. He's still a child, but he wants to be an adult.
And not just frozen. Good. Like, it's not just frozen in that, like, it's solid, but, like, it's clearly not ready to eat. Like, you can see the ice still on this thing. I thought that was amazing.
It's a good thing to depict him as. He's still a child, or he's still a young adult, not quite an adult yet, but he wants to be an adult. It's a great little kind of like example of his situation. And Curtis Armstrong, I think his name was Darby or Darley or whatever his name was. I think it was just say Darby. He was like, what the F? Just take a chance and whatever. And so he calls a lady of the night, Jackie, to come to the house. And he's a little nervous. He's like, he's in the bed. Anything's going to happen. Jackie shows up. As he was like, let me get you someone that you would like, and gives him the number for Lana. Right. And Lana, he calls Lana. They have the most magical intercourse you've ever seen. The wind is blowing and all that, and it's nicely lit. And she's like $300, and it's like, I don't have that. Then we get some money, and that's the movie. It soothes to where he needs more money and more money and more money and more money, and he's attracted to Lana, but Lana, you never know. That's what I like about her performance is you never know if she's being genuine or not. You never know, is she taking this kid for a ride or not? And Joey Pants plays Guido, the pimp, pretty much. And he has an awful haircut. Yeah.
Sorry, you were rolling.
I
didn't want to interrupt.
I'm sorry. It's a movie that there's a lot to happen. There's a Porsche that's involved.
Before I want to get to that, but I also wanted to give one quick thing about the Jackie thing. I will say, for the 80s, for the time period, whatever, I thought they handled that scene very well. Given the time period, it could have been so much more offensive than it could have been, than it was, and I give them all the credit.
It ages well.
One thing I'll say about it, when you mentioned the car, as soon as you mentioned the car, it popped a thought in my head. There are aspects of this movie that kind of feel like it's a more mature Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
I knew you were going to say that.
Well, you got the thing with the car, the thing with, him, he's in this new situation. Ferris Bueller, it's the whole concept of the day off. With him, he's got the freedom from his parents.
They also mix Bueller and Cameron. Cameron has the pressure of school and parents, and I don't want to can't break the crystal egg thing, right? Which is a very, very pivotal item in the whole movie.
And I just couldn't stop thinking about that. How close, like they're not enough to where it doesn't feel like neither feels like a ripoff of the other. But there were definitely moments where I'm like, this feels very Ferris Bueller. Once, like I'll tell you, once the car goes into the lake, that was the exact moment I was like, this is more like a mature Ferris Bueller.
Which is funny because Ferris Bueller doesn't come out for another 3 years.
Exactly.
But like it's
somebody watched Risky Business.
Yeah, it's very. It's just like Joel. Even Joel is like more brave than Curtis Armstrong is in the car when he's running away from Guido, and stuff like that. I like how Guido just kind of he just. It's like he could just end all this right now, and the whole movie you're like, why don't he just end this right now? He knows where the guy lives and stuff like that. And at the end, you kind of figure out why. And it adds more to the mystique of Lana. How much was she leading him on? How much was she genuine with her feelings for Joel? And at the end, we don't really know. We don't really know what the future holds. One great scene, I think, is the house party scene when the Princeton advisor shows up. And he's trying to interview Joel. And Joel's just like, I think he's matured by being an entrepreneur and having was his house at some point, spoiler, turned into a brothel?
Yeah.
That's why, yeah.
I mean, they're getting beds for people to have sex on for money. That's what the whole point of you can make more money tonight than you will in an entire year.
He made like $8,000.
He's essentially running a whorehouse while he's doing his interview for Princeton.
It's wonderful. It's a wonderful scene.
And it's genius. But like going into like what you were saying about Guido, there's parts of Guido that I always felt like when I was watching the movie, like it didn't happen, but I always felt like there was going to be that moment where it was kind of like put up or shut up and his whole thing was just facade. But then the way it ends, you still kind of wonder, you know what I mean? You wonder kind of like, what would he have actually done anything at those period of time? Like you said, by the end, you understand it. But the one thing about the ending that I thought was kind of interesting, and again, where I go with the whole mature Ferris Bueller is, it doesn't really work out for him because, he doesn't, he doesn't, well, think about it like this. His whole thing was trying to maintain the trust of his parents. He cracked the egg. He had to do the yard work.
Yeah.
The only thing that worked out for him is he got into Princeton, but...
Yeah, that was it.
That was it. Everything else was just kind of
Which got his trust of his dad.
Yeah.
So his mother, I love how the mother trusts him, but there's a slight crack in this one egg, and she's like, I'm so disappointed in you. And you're like...
There's one line where there's like, and he's like, I'm thinking University of... Was it Illinois?
Illinois, yeah.
It's like, sounds like University of Illinois.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that needs to be a meme somehow. I don't know how you would use it.
I could see this movie,
needs to be.
This movie being a breakout for Tom Cruise. I'm not sure, 100% sure what he's done before this. This is before Top Gun.
Definitely before
Top Gun is what really probably skyrocketed him pun intended. So, Scott, would you recommend this film to the general audience?
I would absolutely recommend it, with only one caveat. If the idea of a high schooler running a brothel offends you, don't watch it. But if you can get past that, or it doesn't bother you at all, it's a good time. It's just grounded enough in reality and serious enough to where, like, you know, somebody who isn't all big into, like, comedies and stuff could get something out of it. It has a good amount of, like, you know, like, comedic, not laugh out loud moments, but still enough good, like, comedic and surprisingly lighthearted for the kind of movie it is at times. I think it's got a little something for everybody. Like I said, just if you cannot get over the idea of a high schooler running a brothel, stay away. But other than that,
the brothel's only like 10 minutes of the film. It's not like it's not the whole film. It's a good probably 10, 15 minutes of the film.
True, but remember, sometimes it's not what you show.
It's okay.
It's the idea of what you're
because
showing.
some people will be like, sometimes I forgot they were in high school. I thought they were in college.
You know, I did too.
So
I was watching it with my wife Caitlin, and she asked me that. She's like, "Wait, they're in high school? Are they in college?" I was like, "No, high school."
I couldn't tell sometimes. But there's one funny moment. I also recommend to the film general audience. It's on. You can rent it right now, or you can buy the Blu-ray DVD on Criterion Collection.com. We're not sponsored. Where like he's reading like the personal ads for like, you know, call girls and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
It's like, Joel, how can you miss it? He's chasing him across the yard. I thought it was really fun. But that's our thoughts on Risky Business. Let us know in the comment section below what you think about Risky Business. Is there any other coming of age films that we've not done that's on Criterion Collection? Maybe it doesn't have to involve a high schooler running a brothel. That's a pretty unique idea.
But what if it was an elementary? Wait a minute. No, that's Milk. No, that's Milk Money. That's the movie where the kids buy a prostitute.
I don't even know what Milk Money is.
Oh, I got a story to tell you when we stop rolling.
Anyway, be sure to... Joe is in the background cracking up, so it must be funny. Let us know in the comment section below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Follow us on Condish Productions on Instagram. Follow on Letterboxd. There's Criterion Connection. Has all the movies we've done. How many have you seen? So until next time, I'm Wade.
And I'm Scott.
And we'll see you later.